There's something about old trucks that modern machines just can't touch. No matter how many screens, sensors, or high-tech features new trucks come with, they still don't have that same heartbeat. Imagine the low growl of a big V8 echoing down a quiet American highway, the smell of diesel and worn leather, and that long hood stretching out like it owns the road. Why do these classics still feel untouchable after all these years? Today, we're taking a trip back through time to revisit 10 legendary American trucks that shaped the highways and earned their place in trucking history. These machines weren't just built strong, they were built with character, power, and the kind of charm no computer can replicate. Get ready for a full dose of nostalgia, horsepower, and pure old-school attitude. And trust me, the number one truck on this list is so iconic that collectors will pay unbelievable prices just to get their hands on one. Let's fire up the engine and hit the road. The white Freightliner is one of the most iconic old-school trucks ever made. Built in the 1950s by Freightliner and the White Motor Company, it was designed to be tough, simple, and easy to repair. No electronics, just pure mechanical strength. Its cab-over, flat nose design made it shorter and easier to maneuver in cities and tight spots. Power came from a 12-liter Detroit diesel inline, 6 with about 230 horsepower, giving it plenty of muscle for long hauls and steep hills. The engine had a loud, gritty sound that every trucker recognized. The truck rode on heavy-duty leaf springs and a dual rear axle for stable hauling. Inside, the cab was basic but roomy, built for drivers who spent days on the road. These trucks ran coast to coast for years, and many are still running today, proving how durable they really are. Modern trucks may be more comfortable, but when a sensor fails, they stop. With a white Freightliner, you just grab a wrench and keep going. That's why so many truckers still love them: simple, strong, and full of classic American character. The International Harvester Loadstar, introduced in 1962, was built to be the ultimate do-everything work truck. Whether it was delivering goods in the city, hauling grain on farms, or serving as a dump truck or fire engine, the Loadstar could handle it. Businesses, farmers, and towns across America loved it because it was versatile, tough, and incredibly dependable. The Loadstar came with gasoline or diesel engines, with the popular 345 cubic inch V8 making around 180 horsepower, plenty of strength for pulling heavy loads up hills without struggle. Depending on the setup, you could get rear-wheel or four-wheel drive, and the rugged leaf spring suspension was made to survive rough, unpaved roads. Its design had classic charm, round headlights, a bold grille, and a no-nonsense stance that showed it was built to work. The cab was roomy, practical, and comfortable enough for long days behind the wheel. Even today, many Loadstars are still running on farms and in small towns. People keep them because they're simple, reliable, and easy to fix. No computers, no complicated electronics, just solid engineering. Modern trucks might be more high-tech, but none match the Loadstar's adaptability or its old-school durability. It was, and still is, one of the most reliable utility trucks ever built. The Western Star 4900, first released in the 1970s, was built for drivers who wanted strength and style in one truck. Unlike mass-produced rigs, this one was made to order, letting drivers choose exactly what they needed for tough jobs like logging, mining, mountain hauling, or long-distance freight. It packed a powerful 14-liter Detroit diesel V8 with over 400 horsepower, paired with a manual transmission of up to 18 gears. Heavy-duty suspension, dual rear axles, and strong components made it a truck built to pull, climb, and keep going no matter the terrain. The 4900 also had a bold look: long hood, square cab, shiny chrome, and tall exhaust stacks. Inside, it offered wood trim, comfortable seating, and impressive soundproofing for its time. Unlike modern trucks that do everything automatically, the 4900 demanded real skill to drive, and that's why people loved it. Many of these trucks are still running today, some even with their original engines. That's not nostalgia. That's durability. The Diamond Rio, built from the 1950s to the 1970s, is one of America's most underrated trucks. Created from the merger of Rio Motor Car Company and Diamond T, it earned a tough reputation. Fast people even called it the tank of the highway. It could haul huge loads, take daily abuse, and keep running with almost no complaints. Most models came with a Cummins inline-6 engine, up to 14 liters, making over 350 horsepower and strong torque for climbing hills with ease. Paired with a manual transmission and leaf spring suspension, the truck was simple to repair and built to last. Its looks were unforgettable: a square front, wide-set headlights, heavy bumper, and a bold grille that gave it a military-like presence. When the engine started, its deep rumble could be heard from far away. The Diamond Rio worked in every kind of job, hauling grain, logs, concrete, and heavy machinery. And even today, few modern trucks match its raw durability. New trucks may be faster and more comfortable, but they rely on complex electronics. If something fails, you're stuck. With a Diamond Rio, you just opened the hood, listened, grabbed a wrench, and fixed it yourself. That's why many old-school drivers still swear by it. Some machines are simply built to outlast time, and the Diamond Rio is one of them. The Brockway 361, built from the 1950s to the 1970s, is one of the most underrated trucks in American history. Handmade in Cortland, New York, it wasn't a mass-produced machine. It was built to order, crafted with care, and designed to last a lifetime. Most 361s came with Cummins inline-6 engines up to 13 liters, making over 300 horsepower and plenty of torque for tough jobs. With heavy-duty leaf springs and a strong steel frame, the truck handled rough terrain, steep hills, and heavy loads without hesitation. The manual transmission was pure old-school, direct, demanding, and built for drivers who truly knew their truck. The Brockway 361 had a bold look, a square hood, thick bar grille, and twin headlights that made it stand out without needing chrome. Inside, the cab was simple but refined, with wood accents, clear gauges, and that classic mechanical hum every driver loved. These trucks were used for logging, hauling equipment, and heavy urban work. But what really set the Brockway apart was its unmatched durability. Many 361s ran 1,000,000 miles or more with little major repair, something almost unheard of today. Modern trucks rely on electronics, sensors, and software. The Brockway didn't. It was built from steel, built to work, and built to last. And somehow, the more miles you put on it, the better it seemed to run. The Dodge Power Wagon. A name that's been tied to toughness since the day it was born. First released in 1945, it came straight from the battle-tested trucks Dodge built for World War II. And when it hit the civilian market, it became the first mass-produced 4x4 pickup you could actually buy. No fancy tech. No shortcuts. Just pure strength and real off-road power. Let's go back to the beginning. From 1945 to 1980, the original Power Wagon was built on the same platform as Dodge's 3/4-ton military trucks. It came with a heavy-duty four-wheel drive system and a tough flathead 6-cylinder engine that refused to quit. Utility companies, farmers, and small towns depended on it because it could crawl through mud, climb rough terrain, and handle brutal workloads without flinching. Fast forward to modern times. In 2005, Dodge brought the Power Wagon name back, this time as a hardcore off-road trim for the Ram. And today, under the Ram Trucks brand, it's still a beast. With front and rear locking differentials, a disconnecting front sway bar, and serious suspension upgrades, the new Power Wagon continues the legacy of the original, a truck built to go where others won't. Old or new, one thing never changed: the Power Wagon wasn't designed to look pretty. It was designed to get the job done. Autocar DC100. Built in the 1950s, the Autocar DC100 earned a reputation as a truck that just wouldn't quit. It wasn't the best-looking rig, and it didn't try to be. What it offered was toughness, reliability, and the ability to work hard every single day. Most DC100s came with big Cummins or Detroit diesel inline-6 engines up to 14 liters, making 300 to 400 horsepower and huge torque. With a manual transmission, strong leaf springs, and locking differentials, this truck was designed to haul heavy loads without complaining. Its look matched its strong front end, steel grille, deep headlights, and a thick bumper that looked ready for battle. You didn't just hear this truck coming, you felt it. The DC100 became a favorite for hauling steel, timber, chemicals, and even military loads. It wasn't fancy, but it was dependable. And unlike modern trucks full of electronics and sensors, the DC100 could be fixed on the spot with simple tools. Strong, simple, and nearly unbreakable. That's why the Autocar DC100 is still remembered as one of the toughest trucks ever built. Kenworth W900. The Kenworth W900 is one of the most famous and loved trucks in America. First released in 1961, it quickly became a classic on the highway. With its long hood, tall chrome stacks, and tough look, this truck wasn't just for work, it was a symbol of pride for drivers. Most W900s came with big Caterpillar, Cummins, or Detroit diesel engines, usually around 15 liters and over 500 horsepower. They had huge torque, perfect for pulling heavy loads. The 18-speed manual transmission and air suspension made it powerful, smooth, and fun to drive. Inside, the sleeper cab was comfortable for long trips, with wood trim, simple gauges, and enough space to rest and store gear. It felt like a small home on wheels. Drivers used the W900 for all kinds of jobs, hauling fuel, equipment, oversized loads, and general freight. And even though new versions exist today, they still can't match the soul of the old-school W900. Modern trucks have more technology, but the classic W900 gave something different, real driving feel and real pride. It asked for skill, and in return, it delivered strength, loyalty, and pure trucking freedom. The Peterbilt 359, released in 1967, is one of the most iconic American trucks ever built. It was the first Peterbilt with an aluminum frame, making it lighter, stronger, and able to carry bigger loads. Its long square hood, chrome grille, twin headlights, and tall stacks made it instantly recognizable. Under the hood, most 359s had 15-liter Caterpillar or Cummins engines with about 450 horsepower, paired with an 18-speed manual transmission for full control. The cab was comfortable, with wood trim, classic gauges, soft seats, and good insulation, perfect for long hauls. The 359 became a legend on the road and appeared in movies and commercials. Even today, modern trucks can't match its character or simplicity. Driving one was all about feeling connected to the road. Every shift and hill mattered. It's still one of the most restored and customized trucks in the world, with people spending huge amounts to bring them back to life. That's how you know it's truly legendary. Mack B61. Introduced in 1953, the Mack B61 is a symbol of toughness in trucking. Built to last, it wasn't just a truck, it was a machine that refused to quit. Most B61s ran Mack inline, 6 engines, around 11 liters, producing about 250 horsepower, paired with a double-clutch manual gearbox. With solid leaf spring suspension, a reinforced chassis, and rugged rear axles, it was more like a tank than a truck. Its look was iconic: a rounded hood, tall grille, prominent headlights, and the famous chrome Bulldog on the hood. The B61 hauled everything: cement, fuel, containers, logging loads, even military gear, and many ran hundreds of thousands of miles without major repairs. Compared to today's trucks, modern rigs may be faster, more comfortable, and high-tech, but few can match the B61's longevity and grit. It earned respect from drivers and the road alike. Even decades later, the B61 remains a legend in trucking history. Ford LTL 9000. Launched in the late 1970s, the Ford LTL 9000 quickly became a legend on the road. Its long hood, clean lines, and towering stance made it impossible to ignore. It wasn't just a truck, it was a statement. Under the hood, it packed serious power. Most LTL 9000s ran Caterpillar 15L or Cummins big cam inline, 6 engines, producing over 500 horsepower and huge torque. Air ride suspension kept the ride smooth, and the extended sleeper cab made long hauls comfortable, with a bed, storage, and great sound insulation. Drivers loved it for its strength, reliability, and simplicity. It hauled everything: grain, fuel, oversized loads, and some trucks still run over 1 million miles on their original engines. Unlike modern trucks, which rely on electronics and are expensive to repair, the LTL 9000 could be fixed on the road with basic tools. It wasn't just a machine, it had presence. Spotting one from a mile away, you knew it meant business. Tough, simple, and dependable, the Ford LTL 9000 earned its place as a true trucking legend. Mack AC Bulldog. The Mack AC, famously nicknamed the Bulldog, set the standard for tough, reliable trucks. British soldiers first gave it the name during World War I, impressed by its strength and tenacity, a name Mack adopted in 1917, which still serves as the company's logo today. Powered by a 4-cylinder, 74-horsepower engine and a 3-speed manual transmission, the AC used a durable chain-drive system that made it incredibly reliable. Its protected radiator sat behind the engine, and the sturdy front bumper and crossmember were easy to access for repairs, even in harsh conditions. The AC excelled in both military and civilian roles. It hauled supplies for armies during World War I and later handled tough jobs like logging, construction, and heavy hauling. Built to last, the Mack AC was a commercial success, with over 40,000 units produced between its introduction and the end of its production in 1939.